Thank you guys for tuning in to Crash Course RC today. Hope you're having a good week. We're going to be building bag J today. This thing's really starting to come together. Getting pretty excited about it. I kind of only work on it when I have time, but still kind of cold outside here where I live, so really looking forward to that warmer weather and getting this thing on the track. But as you can kind of see, I've laid a lot of stuff out, how it's going to go together here. This is the longer chassis brace. If you read your instructions, they'll talk about a short chassis brace. I think that's going to be found in bag Q, and it's this guy right here. I'm going to build it to stock. I will probably be running this mostly outside, which calls for the shorter brace, and then the longer brace maybe for less bumpy tracks. But I'm just going to build it stock for the sake of building it. And yeah, let's get started. You can kind of see this piece is going to go here. Here's our motor mount. The numbers are going to go facing that way. Here's this piece. See how this little lip, that's going to hold your bearing, and this little lip, that's going to hold the bearings for your center differential. And here's this little piece. It's going to go right there. And then our center brace will go like so. But let's move that out of the way. Now that we kind of laid everything out, we kind of know how it's going. First things, this is our front assembly here. And this is towards the front. We're going to loosen these two screws ever so slightly, because this frame is going to slide into that, and this little tab needs to slide up in there inside that A block. Doesn't look like it needs to be loosened very much. We'll try that. Probably don't want to loosen it so much that your hinge pins come out. We'll try that right there. And it's going to get 2 of the tapered screws. And it looks like they're only going in these holes right here for now. But as you can see, we're going to slide that best we can. That looked okay. And these 2 holes should be lined up to put the screws in. The bigger this thing gets, the harder it might be to get on camera, but we're going to do our best. Get that nice and straight. All right. Go ahead and put our other screw in. Hopefully get it where you guys can see. Looks good. Maybe snug it by hand a little bit. Feels pretty good. Now we can go back and tighten this A block, and it should move that little tab inwards. Looks good. Our front assembly is attached to the chassis. Getting into the good stuff. Alright, next looks like it's calling for our motor mount. I don't have a motor yet. Not sure what I'm going to go with, but I'm going to go ahead and install this for the sake of getting the kit together for you guys. You got 3 screws here. And it should go right there. And it calls for Loctite, thread lock. I'm not going to use that because I'm going to be removing this to put a motor on. Whenever you do get a motor and you put it on, be sure any metal to metal, you use your thread lock that comes with the kit. So we're going to flip this over. I think I'm going to hold it like this. Start that one by hand. Like I said, I'm probably not going to even get this real tight. So I'll be going in this screw hole, and this screw hole. Tekno did a really good job. Looks like all these set screws are the same length, so that makes things a little bit easier in assembly. Like I said, not using any thread lock, but if you do have your motor on there, you do want to be using thread lock. Anytime it's metal to metal. Alright, things to check for. This little tab should be on this side because our bearing is going to rest against that. The numbers should be towards the back, if you guys can see that. Alright, next we'll go and install this guy. Notice this tab. Now you could probably install this wrong, so make sure I'm pointing that out. There's that tab, just like so. We'll have to flip it over. Make sure tab is in the right position. See if I can bring that up for you. Same length screw. Should look like so. We didn't use Loctite in those because it was going into plastic. Got our center brace here. The curved part should be the inside. And you got these 2 screws. It's going to assemble like so. So let's do that. Go ahead and got my screw through there. Alright, one more to go. And if it helps, you can unscrew these a little bit. This might help that other hole line up a little bit better. Gives it more room since it's plastic. Go back and snug these three. Alright. Got our metal motor mount, our plastic piece here, and our plastic center piece. Let's go to the next page. About ready for our center differential, looks like. So it's going to get these two bearings. Here's my center diff, like so. Now if you look at this piece, this is actually what's going to slide down in there. It has a tab. See the side with all the little tiny holes is going to the inside. All the little tiny holes to the inside. And now our diff is going to slide down in those slots. And we got to install our drive shaft as we do so. Or we're going to have to take it all apart. Looks like the spur gear is on the left side, according to the build instructions here. There we go. Our drive shaft is in. And our center diff is in. Next, I'll take this Tekno RC cap, and it should go like so. Now these two are going to be screwing into metal, so you'll need to thread lock those. And I might not thread lock them just because I'll be taking this apart when I do my motor install. So we might just get ours snug. Should go like so. Now, getting really close to installing our rear assembly there. May go ahead and install our rear chassis brace. It's going in these two holes here and here. If you're using the shorter chassis brace, it'll be going to those two holes, but we're going to those for the stock setup. Looks good. One thing I forgot was this little guy. It's going in that hole there. Like so. Snug it up a little more. All right. Here comes the rear assembly. One thing you got to make sure, don't forget your dog bone. Should look like so. Now, I'm going to be getting these 4 screws in the back side of it. Like I said, be sure not to forget your dog bone or you'll be taking this back off. One down, 3 to go. Notice your little, what is that, the C block fits down in your chassis right there. Helps hold that rear in place. Okay. We have these 2 tiny pieces. Let me show you where those go. They go on both sides here. And there's different pieces for a different setup in that bag queue that I showed you earlier. But we're going to go ahead and build the stock. And it has this hole towards the top. So I'm going to pop this side in. As you guys can see right here. We're going to do that on the other side. Little hole is facing up. Alright. So the longer screw is going to go through this, through the chassis brace and those 2 pieces that we just installed. It's going to come out the other side and it's going to get this nut on it. tool here. Put it on the back side. Alright. Looks like that's about it for bag J. If you're wondering what these two screws are, they were for the motor whenever we do get a motor on it. So I'll hang on to those. But thank you guys for tuning into Crash Course. If you guys are building along, be sure to comment down below. I'll try to answer any questions you have. Thanks again.